are going to be coming before you tonight, or that you'll be discussing this evening. Campus Women's Center, Metro, and MCSC are vital to the campus. I want to start talking to regards about MCSC. I'm one of the advisors for Multicultural Student Coalition, and just want to stress the importance that they do provide direct services to all students here at the institution.
I was disheartened to hear that there was a vote about zero funding this organization. While I know that there are always, with any organization, ways that they can improve and better direct their services to serve all students, I think it would be a real tragedy to see this organization go away, because there would be a huge void left on this campus that has been worked towards for over 20 years to create this kind of presence on campus to help bridge some divides.
Really need a safe space and programs and services that connect them with the rest of campus in order to retain students that help to make this community more diverse and more vibrant. It's important that those services and programs exist, as well as on-campus jobs that really speak to that passion and that zest for allowing this campus to be a welcoming and inclusive place.
This committee has held numerous hours of debate on this budget so far, and I highly doubt at this point anybody is going to be changing their mind. I do not feel this budget is at a level that I can accept. The excessive amount of paid staff is one of the main reasons why I am not comfortable with this budget and will be voting against it as it stands. These are the types of practices that will jeopardize the sustainability of the General Student Services Fund. I do not know under what logic that an increased financial staff or a decreased budget falls under, but it's not one that lends itself to the longevity of the fund.
The first is, are the staff being used to put on and organize their direct services? And the second is, what is an appropriate level of funding for those staff to put on those services? In talking with the group and looking at everything, I personally believe that this level of funding that we have cut it to is appropriate. I can vote yes.
I think because pretty much every motion has been made, I would question the appropriateness of doing so. So I really feel that that now is the time just to end debate. I think we've all gotten our points across throughout the last couple of days, and I call the question.
There's been a motion to restore $8,822.40 to the Programming and Financing Director. Is there a second?
I think we've gone through the staff, guys. We've made the staff arguments. We've spoken extensively on the staff line. I really think, like I said again, I really think any motion at this point is inappropriate because all motions have been made. This budget has been extensively debated. I mean, unless there's a clear reason, and I urge the members to raise that in debate, why something has changed, then I urge us to vote this down, keep this at the level it's at, and call the question on the main budget.
I guess that speaks to just a more philosophical question, which is, if a group comes to us and says, we need 100 staff, do we simply fund it because they said so? Do we simply fund it because they can come up with a good reason as to why they should have the staff? I don't think our job is to necessarily decide what their good or bad reasons are, to decide what the appropriate level of staff is. That requires judgment of our own. It requires not simply taking the group's word at face value. It requires you digging deep into their budgets and seeing what they spent money on, how much time they spent it on, and what they actually did. Based on the debates that we've had, I think we've made the correct decision so far.
If the group or organization knows the level of staff that they need to effectively put on their direct service, the thing is we want to fund them enough so that they can effectively put on their direct services, and the group has said time and time again that they are not functioning as well as they could be or as well as they should be in order to put on their direct services. So to make cuts or to say something that's like the group is trying to run a business, the business is usually something designed to profit people running the organization of the group. And I don't think that was ever the intention of,
I really think that we have to take a step back and not just say, well, what is this group? But we really have to look at, okay, what about this campus? I mean, of course, we want to be able to give every student a job. And it's their responsibility in order to try to get as much funding as possible for what they want to do, of course. If I was a group, I'd be saying the same thing. I think it's really important to note that we fund direct services and the staff for those direct services. I mean, this has been said over and over and over again. I'm beating a dead horse, but really, we've seen many organizations come forward to us with a very high level of programming and direct services, just as MCSC does, with half the staff funding. It's not appropriate for this organization to have such a large staff when a lot of the work can be done by volunteers. And again, MCSC needs to do what they can do with the resources that they have, and it's our job as a committee to give them the proper resources for what we think is appropriate level for this campus.
The person who's getting paid perhaps will be more responsible and more accountable by the group. And I feel that if a group wants to have paid positions to reflect that, that's their right. And going back to what I said before, I feel that this is appropriate to have in there. And it kind of goes back to the whole personal philosophy thing. I understand that the committee already decided to take these out. I did not, you know, a certain majority on the committee did. So that's why I'm reintroducing this to talk about it again.
The idea that you have to pay a position in order for them to do what it is that they love, I mean, that completely defeats the purpose of a student organization. They're student organizations. They're not services being run by ODOS or by, you know, the administration. These are student groups that want to come to us and get some money so that they can provide something for the campus. Last year, they returned $45,000. They didn't know how much they needed last year. They were off by a third. The year before that, they were off by $34,000. Again, they were off by 19%, almost a fifth. And historically, they've overshot it by a very significant amount.
I believe that a service is being provided to campus by allowing students, any student here has the opportunity to study a foreign language. So giving students the opportunity to go into the real world and better these skills that they're learning here at the university, I believe is providing a service for students here at Madison.
Students. This isn't even open to all University of Madison students. It's open to the people who are hired to lead this. I mean, it's people from MCSC going out into the community for the community. It's not for UW-Madison students. We should not fund this. And again, if you feel that a wrong decision was made in Magic Ethic's budget, by all means, recall that budget. And let's decide on that again. But don't put inappropriate things, don't put things that don't belong being paid for by segregated fees into a segregated fee budget.
Okay, the correct answers are I, to approve MCSC's budget at $264,468.57. Nay, to minimally fund the organization at $4,676. You may also pass or vote present to abstain. Once again, that number is $264,468.57. And the secretary will call the roll.
Romanesco.
Nay.
Gainer.
Aye.
Senpai.
Present.
Burrow.
Aye.
Terry.
Aye.
John.
Aye.
By a vote of 5-3 to 5, MCSC's budget is approved at $264,468.57.